the Night King and his army of the dead had succeeded? In the epic series of Game of Thrones, we saw the White Walkers as the ultimate threat to humanity. But what if they weren't stopped? What if the Night King had won, and Westeros had fallen to eternal winter? In this video, we're going to explore a world where the White Walkers were victorious, and humanity was wiped out. From the survivor's struggle to the reign of the dead, we'll explore what could have happened if the Night King had succeeded in his mission. Get ready for a dark and chilling alternate reality where winter reigns forever. Imagine the scene. The Night King has made it through the wall, and the Battle of Winterfell ends in a devastating defeat for the living. With Arya Stark's triumph over the Night King gone, the army of the dead continues its unstoppable march south. As the White Walkers sweep through Westeros, cities fall, castles burn, and the living are overwhelmed by the sheer number and power of the undead. With dragons on his side, the Night King's victory becomes inevitable. There's no escape from the relentless winter he brings, and the world is plunged into an eternal night. With the Night King's victory, what happens to the survivors? Jon Snow, Daenerys Targaryen, and the rest of the living are left with only a slim chance to survive. Would they fight to the bitter end, or would they be transformed into whites? Sansa Stark and Tyrion Lannister may have held out for a while, but there's no defense against the dead's relentless march. The Starks may try to flee to the north, but even Winterfell, once their stronghold, would eventually fall to the whites. In this grim new world, survival would become about outlasting the night and living in the shadows. The hope of reclaiming Westeros would be dashed. The realm would no longer belong to humans. It would belong to the Night King. Under the Night King's rule, Westeros would be a frozen wasteland. The Iron Throne would be abandoned, left to rust and freeze as the White Walkers took over the capital. With whites occupying every corner of the land, there would be no throne, no lords, and no power struggles, just the dead ruling over the land they once sought to conquer. The people who survived would become part of the Dead Army, controlled by the Night King's power. With his ability to raise the dead, he would turn fallen enemies into servants of his army, ensuring no human could rise to challenge him. One of the most powerful forces in Westeros was the dragons. But what happens to Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion if the Night King wins? Drogon, the last remaining dragon, could become the final resistance against the White Walkers. However, the Night King's powers over ice and death may eventually overpower even the might of the dragons. In this dark reality, the dragons might be frozen in place, or worse, raised as whites. In essence, dragons under the control of the Night King. The world would be filled with ice-breathing dragons, creatures of fire now corrupted and aligned with the army of the dead. As the White Walkers spread across Westeros, the entire continent would fall into an eternal winter. The Wall, once a barrier against the north, would now be a symbol of the past, forgotten as the dead marched south. The north would be a land of endless snow and ice, with no warmth, no seasons, just the perpetual cold that comes with the Night King's victory. The survivors in the north would no longer be able to harvest crops or survive the cold. The last remnants of humanity would be forced to hide in the dark, living on the fringes of the land, hoping that the Night King would one day overlook them. But even in hiding, they would never truly be free. With no hope of reclaiming the Iron Throne, the Night King's reign would continue, ruling over a dead kingdom. As the last living humans are transformed into whites, Westeros would become a world of endless cold, ruled by death. And yet, even in this hopeless world, there might be whispers of rebellion. The blood of the dragon might still run through a few hidden survivors, and they could try to fight back against the Night King. But without the strength of dragons, the fire of humanity, or the power of the living, how long could they last? In the end, the victory of the Night King would spell the end of Westeros as we know it. The living would be gone, replaced by the dead, ruling in a frozen, lifeless world where dragons are corrupted, cities are ruined, and humanity no longer exists. The White Walkers would reign supreme, with only the night and the eternal winter ahead. Could humanity have fought back? Could Jon Snow or Daenerys Targaryen have overcome the forces of the dead? We'll never know. But this dark scenario shows us just how much one battle, one moment in time, could have changed everything. Let us know what you think in the comments below. What would have happened if the Night King had succeeded? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more alternate histories of Game of Thrones.